In today's FM23 tutorial video, I'm going to guide you through another method of playing FM23 using the 23-24 season. This method even includes starting the game in June of 2023. This has all been made possible thanks to the brilliant work of Sort It Outside and Anders Baz Gaming. For step number one, the first thing you will need to do is go to the description in this video. In the description box, you will see 3 links that you will need to click. If you click on all 3 of those, it will take you through to the Sort It Out SI website. There'll be 3 individual web tabs that you need to open. The first of which will go to the FM23 Real League Fixtures and Results. You need to download that by hitting this button on the right hand side. It'll take you through to a splash, but eventually in the top right hand corner you will see that the league fixtures.zip has now downloaded. The next link will take you through to the main data update for FM23. Again, if we go there and hit the download tab, that will download in the top right hand corner. And the final one we need will take you through to the custom start date pack. And again, if you go about halfway down on the right hand side, there will be a green box. You just hit that, it'll go through to the splash, and then it will take you into the top right hand corner to see your download. Once all 3 files are downloaded, let's show you what you need to do with them. Once you have all 3 files downloaded, step number 2 is to go to the file directory that you downloaded them to. The default one is normally just under your downloads, but if you've got it saved somewhere else, say your desktop, just navigate to where you downloaded those files. And the next thing we need to do is unzip them. Now, luckily for me, I'm running the latest version of Windows, and if we right click, you will see that it comes with extraction software already built in, so I can just go ahead and hit extract all. But there are a few other different versions of WinRAR, 7-zip and iZark. You can go download any of those and they will all do the same job. So once you've right clicked, hit extract all, hit extract, and it will show you now have 4 files in the folder, and that will be the extracted file for the custom start dates. Go to the data update, hit extract all once again, extract those, and finally go to the league fixtures and extract all for those. Once they have all extracted, you should end up with something that looks like this on your screen. So you'll have the 3 zip files and the 3 unzipped files. Next thing to do is show you where to move those files to. For step number 3, we need to move all the files you've just downloaded into the correct folder to make them work. To do this, you're going to need to go to Documents, Sports Interactive, Football Manager 2023, and then Editor Data. Now, just a little disclaimer, whilst I'm doing this, I am using the Steam version of the game, and my tutorials are all for the Steam version. I'm aware that there is an Xbox Game Pass version and an Epic Games version, I believe, that you can download. I'm not too sure if the directories are the same for those versions. This purely is for the Steam version. Once you've got to that folder, you should have, in theory, a blank folder if you have done nothing already. If you already have files in that editor data folder, that means you've already done things in the game. So mine that you can see here are things such as the Ajax staff, the Brazilian team names, the club names, all of the license fixes that you need for FM23. But that's not the reason that we're here. The reason we're here is to get you up to date. So if you go back to where you extracted those files, go into the league fixtures one first, select all of those files, right click, copy, go back to your editor data file and paste them all in. Next, you'll want to go back, you'll want to pick the data update, go through the folder tree, and for this one we don't actually need everything. Everything that has brackets on won't be used, but for the purposes of this it's easier to just select everything and copy it across. I'll show you what you need to do with them once we get to the other side of that. So again, paste those in, and finally the last one that we need will be the start dates. So if we go to the custom start dates, again you're going to notice you've got quite a few files in there, and those range in dates from very early in the real life season to the very end of the season, the most recent of which being the 12th of June 2023. So for the purpose of this, you only need one custom start date. So if we copy that one and then go back to the editor data, right click and paste that one in, that should be everything that you need to get the game up and running in the 23-24 season. So we're pretty much done with the editor data folder and those downloads. So let's jump into Football Manager and I'll show you how to set up the game using these files. Okay, once you've booted the game up and you land on the home screen, it's time to start setting up your brand new 23-24 save. The first thing to do is hit the Start a New Game button, followed by the Career. Then in the top right hand corner, you're going to see the database options. We've got 23.4.0 update currently in the box. If we hit the drop down, you're now going to see that all of the files that we moved into that folder, the editor data folder, are available for us to either check or uncheck. Now, you're going to need to go through these one by one because some of them will be conflicting. If you get conflicting databases, so for example, if you have Belgium 23.4 and Belgium League ticked at the same time, you will get both the quick start and the advanced setup grayed out at the bottom of the screen. So the best advice I can give you from this point is to just go through all of these and make sure that everything in the brackets is unticked. Everything that is labeled 23.4 you will need to keep ticked. If you don't untick those leagues with the brackets, once you get to this screen and you click confirm, the bottom here, advanced setup, will be greyed out and you cannot go past this game. That is the number one cause of conflicts in the game, is where you have conflicting databases. So once you have unticked all of those databases in the brackets, let's move on to advanced setup. From this screen, as usual, you can just set up the game how you normally would. The database will then load in. So for this, I'm just going to load up all of the English leagues. Let's remove everything else. Now is the caveat that we're going to have to put in something that will forward your game to the start of the 23-24 season. Remember, we had that file originally, we moved it across into the editor data, and what we have actually done is when we go to add and remove leagues, in the top right hand corner you're going to see a random nation in Africa called sortitoutside.net custom start date. So obviously we need to tick that as a division. When we click confirm, you'll see it's now in underneath England for my database. The next thing to do is change that to view only. I don't think it would do any harm to your save game if you don't untick it. From what I saw, it's just a 2-team league where they just play 2 or 3 games and nothing really happens, but they do start to generate new gens, so I don't know whether it affects the game from that point of view, but it's best to put it in view only. Once you've done that, in the bottom right hand corner you'll be able to go to that custom start date, and you have 3 options with the 5th of the 6th, the 29th of the 5th and the 15th of the 5th. Now bearing in mind, when we put in the realistic results and the up-to-date results, depending on where you click here is how far the league season will actually have gone along. So we're going to pick the 5th of the 6th. When the game now starts up, we will be at the 5th of June and the game will know that the leagues have been confirmed as of that date, so everything will be up to date. Obviously you can choose one of the other dates. It will go further back if you want a bit more time, or if you want to try and change the outcome of the leagues. If you're not happy with the fact that certain things have happened and you want a different outcome, you can pick one of the earlier dates and it will go to that date. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to select the 5th of the 6th, and that will take us to the start of the 23-24 season. Now there is one other little thing that I do need to put in at this point. So we are now about to have updated transfers. We are going to have realistic results, so we know what teams are promoted through automatic promotion and what teams are relegated. We're going to have the correct champions for the leagues. The one thing that we will not have is correct cup results. So no FA Cup winners, no League Cup winners, no Manchester City treble. The other thing that it will not do is predict playoff winners. So if you actually want Luton Town to be in the Premier League in this, you are going to have to try and run it a few times maybe to get the correct outcome. If you're not too fussed about the wrong team's being promoted, you can just go straight into a game. But at this point, you need to know that you might have to load the game up a few times to try and get the correct outcome, because it will not do playoffs, it will not do cups, it will also not do split leagues if you plan on playing in Scotland. If you're ready to go though, I'm about to hit start game. We'll then go through the loading process and I'll jump into the game once we've selected the team, and I'll show you just how up to date this is. Once the game is initialised, your database is loaded up and you have selected yourself as a manager, you move on to the choose team to manage screen. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is that all 20 teams from the 22-23 season are still in the Premier League. This hasn't gone to the point where the teams have been promoted or relegated yet, but the game does know it is about to happen. So, for example, if we go to Southampton, we could see at the top of the screen it will say 20th in the English Premier Division. When we click on the English Premier Division, we can now see that the league table is finalised. It knows that it's played 38 games. Manchester City have got 89 points and are champions. It also knows that the 3 teams that are relegated are Leicester, Leeds and Southampton. That will work for all of the teams that have been promoted or relegated through those league systems. So if you go up automatically or get relegated automatically, it will know. Obviously, as we were saying about the playoffs, there may be different outcomes and you may need to restart the game a few times to get the right outcome. So, for example, if we go into the Sky Bet Championship, it in this version thinks that Middlesbrough won the playoffs, so they would be going into the Premier League. So at this point you would have to start over and try and keep going until you get Luton if you want Luton in the Premier League. If you're not too fussed, you can just start the game as is. Going on into Sky Bet League 1, it would think that Sheffield Wednesday are going to be promoted into the Championship, and it would think that Salford are going to be going up from League 2 into League 1. The other thing to point out at this point is we are now on the 5th of June 2023, so the game is bang up to date for where you would need to be. And the other thing to show you, just for example, is if you type in Messi in the bar, no more PSG for Messi. The transfer updates have now known that he has gone to Inter Miami, and that's where he will start the game. Also, just to show you how up to date it is, if we go to McAllister, Alexis will be at Liverpool, and you are now ready to start your save as if you are in the 23-24 season. Right then, I think that's pretty much it. You can go from here, select your team, go on and have a long career playing from the start of the 23-24 season. The only other thing, I got a comment on the previous video I did about database updates asking about why the squads are the way they are and why certain squads haven't received updates or upgrades. It's because the data is just that previous 23.4.0 update, but the players and the teams have been moved around, and obviously the real fixtures and results are there. So players themselves won't receive those upgrades until FM24, but it means that the right players will be in the right teams as of the day you are watching and the day you downloaded. That transfer update is done daily, so there will be more transfers coming as that database gets updated. Right then, that's pretty much it. I'm going to wrap it up there. Big thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, found it useful, and are enjoying playing from the 23-24 season, why not hit the subscribe button, leave a like on the video, drop me a comment in the box down below if you are having any difficulties. I will try my best to do everything I can to help. If there's something I can't help with, then maybe you could go to the Sort It Out SI forums, sign up to them. They are brilliant people. They are such good guys in the community. People like Anders Baz Gaming has been doing this for a while now, and he really has helped to develop this. So big shout out to all of them. Before you go, don't forget to check out the rest of my channel. There are other things such as tactics, hints, tips, tutorials, wonder kids, a little bit of something for everybody on the channel. But for this video, I'm going to leave it there. Big thank you for watching. I'll see you on another video very soon.